punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
is going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Champions is.
The E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing. It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call. And unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Naki may one time to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Naki somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
is going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Champions is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefenko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Vaslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib might one time should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the game. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib might want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner.
Oh.
And Inigo Anton.
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefanko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages.
Oh.
Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen split as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefenko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Aslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen split as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We've made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real-life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
We are in Aragon in Spain, round 3 of 7. This is a terrific start as Kalen Chin has a big problem.
Oh, he just went onto the curb there, got launched into the air. That was almost like IndyCar style when they had underground underbody aerodynamics as well. That was a real wake-up call, and unfortunately for Kalen, he's lost a huge amount of positions.
6 positions indeed it was, and contact there as well on the back there of Martin Stefenko. So Chin, who was fastest in pole, stay out of trouble, says Alex Young. Should have listened to him. Axel is P13 at the moment, 10-year-old who's getting tons of support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think in fact it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib might one time should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keighley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. And we are underway. A nice first corner. And Inigo Anton
He's going to win his first race.
We're running championships all throughout Asia Pacific. We need a premier championship with proper production, proper entry fees and prize money. And that's what E1 Championship is.
E1 Championship really levels the playing field.
We made a great start on e-racing.
It allows people in the real life teams and the sim racing teams to compete on an even footing, and they can be competitive against each other.
The level of racing was really, really high.
It's a terrific sporting competition.
We want to make the racing even harder and more realistic. In RaceRoom, the drivers and teams have learned how to have contact without breaking the car.
We had so many incidents on the track that we had a couple of races banned from competing for the last 2 rounds.
E1's going to get bigger and better all the time. As we become a global championship, we're going to get more European teams and drivers taking part as well.
Welcome back once again after a 2-week break. This is the E1 Championship 2022. It is round 5. We cannot wait to get underway. My name is Adam Carruthers. I'm alongside the race director himself, Alex Young. Now this is organized by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro. We're supported by MAM. That's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia and RaceRoom. We're live on Arena plus Suka. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is look up E1 Championship, exactly as it says on the screen right now. We're also broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and finally in Indonesia via TVRI Sports. So hello to viewers from literally across the entire region, and it's not just us who's going to be on the screen. The voices of the race themselves, Des and Amo, are standing by as well, really not too far away from qualifying. Now, as I mentioned, it has been a 2-week break. We are still in England for this week, as it was 2 weeks ago. And if you missed out on what went down at Donington Park, here are the highlights.
We are at Donington Park in Leicestershire.
Here comes Keighley on the inside. He is actually touchy for him, and that is the most controversial moment of this season. Look, his front wing is gone, Des.
Wow, Mohammed Ibrahim, we are on board with him. He got himself up into 3P3, but was then pushed wide, and you can see him bottom right. He's pretty distraught at what's gone on there. That's effectively race 1 for him. Out of the window, Jack Keighley is the man now in P3.
And look at that, punching through the center. That's Dafa the answer. He would like to rate his chances here. They're going side by side through McLean's. That is normally what you see in MotoGP or Superbike racing. But Stefanko manages to just outfox Matt Milton for P9.
Irwin is in 7. In fact, Irwin may well just have lost out.
Oh no, he ran out of fuel. He actually ran out of fuel on the line. Would you believe it? A good point-scoring finish position for Josh. Just went completely backing. He ran out of fuel. Look, the car's actually crawling to a halt. Can he cross the start-finish line? No, he can't.
Race number 2 will be underway. Donington Park, the venue. Stefanko, smooth start, but Masvilton is there behind them. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in all kinds of problems.
Second man Milton really is having the race of his life right now.
He is. He's holding on for grim death, is Jin Masvilton. He's in P2. Says 3. Ignore it. It's P2 as Keighley really accelerates away. Masvilton responds superbly. They are wheel to wheel. They are side by side. Keighley just drives through. That's a wonderfully aggressive overtaking maneuver from Jack Keighley.
He doesn't want to use too much of it before the stop. He tries to get up to the back. of Tasby. Around the outside, Compass, that is actually a brave move. Whether he can make it stick without DRS is another matter altogether. Who's got the better momentum? And amazingly, Banky, without DRS, manages to get out to 5th. Now, he can set his sights on trying to chase up to the back of Jack Keithley, about 2.2 seconds ahead. Oh, Keithley's off! Keithley has actually gone off!
Well, there is Jack Keithley racing going down. He's down into P7 now. That was a big mistake.
He is basically doing what Charlie Whiting used to do, as Anton around the outside, and he's been shoved out by his fellow Filipinos. So Russell there, I'm not sure where either way it happened, because we need to have an onboard camera on that. But I think Russell may have actually shoved out Inigo into the kitty litter.
So a great weekend it was for Ben Spanky, the Mumbai Falcons man, taking near maximum points, wins in both race 1 and 2, and maximum points in qualifying. Good weeks also for Caelan Chin from Black Arts Racing, a P2 in race number 1. Team Flash, they come onto the scoreboard as well, and we'll be featuring them later in the show.
How that affects the Drivers' Championship is as follows, as Ben Spanky, coming to the run, was tight with Martin Stefanko, is now well ahead of him by about 29 points, with Jack Keithley falling in the wayside a bit in 3rd, Ibrahim 4th, Caelan Chin in 5th, with 1 point separating him between himself and Tasby for P5.
Yeah, and that Ben Spanky Mohammed Ibrahim combination means that Mumbai Falcons are top of the overall standings. They are 23 points clear of Williams Esports. Good performances from Sem9, Team Flash and Black Arts Racing, who are all in the battle for P3. It's a good team championship.
Thanks to Des and Emma. We have to mention Ben Spanky. He's leading the pack. I was looking at all the previous rounds. 3rd, 4th, 2nd and 1st.
Yeah.
And Team Flash as well.
Yeah, I mean, but Banky's super consistent through the season. That's why he was up there in the championship. But just 2 wins out of 10. First time it's happened this season. Really well done. Well, he's just blown the championship race wide open, right, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say Team Flash is playing catch-up as well. A few teams, Williams stuttering in parts, coming good as well. But for Mumbai Falcons, I know it's down to some dreadful luck for Mohammed Ibrahim, but it feels like Benz is carrying the team. They're top. Look where he's been finishing week in, week out.
I mean, Ibrahim has been unlucky, though. Donington, that first lap, he lost his nose right away at the start. So he has had quite his fair share of unluckiness, shall we say. But he's been just as quick as his teammate. You know, that pole position he had, he just hasn't been able to translate it into consistent results at the moment. And you're right, Banky's been taking the lion's share of the points from Mumbai Falcons so far.
Okay, you know what? Well, let's go through all of the drivers for today, because I also believe there's a new addition, Des and Emma.
Indeed there is. We'll get to the new boy in just a moment. First though, Team Flash, they are our team of the week. Inigo Anta, Mohammed Tasby, both had good weeks last week. The teenage Filipino and the 20-year-old Singaporean. They're a team to look out for.
And here's that new boy in question. Muhammad Shazli Zan from Singapore will be alongside his fellow countryman / also foreign driver from Australia, Inigo Caelan Chin. So both of them will be ones to watch out for, young guns who are hungry for results.
Our old friend Miko Nasi, the Finn based in Singapore. He makes an appearance alongside Jin Masvilton. This is Team Safe House from Korea. Cars number 33 and number 3.
Sem9 being the only team amongst 2 that have maintained their driver lineups this season the same since round 1. Nakib Aslan and Nabil Aslan, both brothers who are looking to actually get some better points here after a mixed result last time out in Donington Park.
It's been a tough old season for Apex E-Racing. They are bottom of the team standings. Lance Lau and Ben Seek between them have contributed only 13 points, both looking for an improvement and a place on the podium today.
Conversely, their sister team, Apex Racing Academy, is doing quite well, especially with the likes of Julian Kunze getting the lion's share of the points. Mohammed Zikri, on the other hand, E-Racing GP champion, would like to get his season still underway here in round 6.
Mihai Neg has been the main point scorer for TX3 France, the virtual drivers. The team in green, though, haven't really shone as we expected them to. More expected.
Meanwhile, more expected of the same will be set for with Mumbai Falcons. Mohammed Ibrahim, the defending champion, alongside Ben Spanky, who is leading the championship now by a huge margin.
JMX Phantom, this is the team. They are from Indonesia. And we've got Presley Martono and Russell Reyes, although Daffa may well be the man in the car today. Look out for Russell Reyes, though. The 21-year-old has been a star this season.
And speaking of homecomings, this is a second homecoming for Williams Esports, and a track that has given them so much in the past. Jack Keighley and Martin Stefanko would like to write new history for Williams at Silverstone.
And a second new boy for Adam and Alex to talk about, Dan Finney, out of Australia. He joins the EGG Network team alongside young Axel Knockom from the Philippines.
As always, thanks to Des and Ammo. If you're new to the E1 Championship and you're unsure about how the racing format works, don't worry, we have you covered. It's the same every single round, Alex, so break it down for us.
Yes, absolutely. There are 2 races, and the first race, the grid is set by qualifying beforehand, and qualifying is only 10 minutes. Race 1 is 15 minutes, and then race 2 is 30 minutes. But race 2 is a reverse grid race where the top 10 are reversed. And look at that, points in qualifying for the top 5, and points for race 1 and race 2 are the same, all the way down to 15th position. And of course, in both races, if you do the fastest lap, you get an extra 2 points per race.
And also there's the points accumulation. So there's something which we haven't really discussed. I'm sure we will at a later stage of the championship. It's drop points.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting to that stage of the season. You have to drop points from your lowest scoring round between rounds 1 to 6. This really is a good rule because it's an online championship and sometimes you get disconnected and you just get no points for no fault of your own. So it allows you to have one disconnect and a chance to still fight for the championship.
Okay, and I mentioned earlier on that we are staying in England as it was 2 weeks ago, but where specifically, Des and Ammo?
We are at Silverstone, arguably the home of motorsports since 1948. Grand Prix have been coming here. We've got the who's who of corners. We've got Luffield and Copse and Maggots and Beckett's. Got Stoke Corner, Club Corner, Hamilton Straight. We have got names to really reckon with. Silverstone, it's a classic circuit.
And the car that we're going to be racing on is a classic in the making, we can safely say. The Formula RaceRoom X22 has been making the rounds this season in terms of how difficult it's been. 1,050 horsepower, 1.6 litre V6 turbo hybrid engine, and it weighs pretty much like a feather, 769 kilos, with a lot of power to put onto the road.
Many thanks, sir. Once again, Des and Ammo. As for the cash, the money, why drivers are competing, I believe it's the highest in the region, Alex.
Yeah, 20,000 USD prize pool. Look at that. You get cash all the way down to 10th position, and if you're the champion, 5,000 USD, which is a lot of money. And other than the driver championship, we got the teams championship as well. Top 5 in teams championship, which gets shared obviously between the drivers. Gets prize money, and they got 3,000 for first, 2,000 for second, and $1,000 for third.
Now, I'm aware that we have viewers from across the regions, but I'm sure wherever you are, you can convert it in your own minds and realize that is a lot of money to be won when we come up with round 7. Now, we talked about Mumbai Falcons, but there's been another team that have suddenly come good in the latter stages so far. We'll discuss that in a moment, but here's a little video package for Team Flash.
This is Tasby, who had his first race win last week. He had a P3 as well. If he can add this, he will go even further out of his brother's shadow. Battle for P7 as he tries to go around Mohammed Tasby. Team Flash, they've been close to each other. I'm sure they'd love to actually be racing, but they can't be too aggressive.
And Anton around the outside, and he's been shoved out by his fellow Filipinos. For sure, yeah. In fact, this will be his best result this season as well, of P4. His best was last time out in Aragon in P6.
Inigo Anton will get his best result of the season. Tasby has got himself, would you believe, ahead of Ben Spanky.
I think overall, as a team, with Inigo up there with me in the top 5 almost all the time for both rounds, it was a really good effort from our team overall.
Why did I say that I feel that Team Flash has come good recently? Because I'm looking at the results, Alex. The first 2 races, neither driver was in the top 6. Yep. Round 3 belonged to Tasby. He was top dog. And in the last round, round 4, both drivers finished in the top 6.
Yeah, and it's been a difficult year for Flash. They are the reigning champions, of course. But they've had to change the lineup a couple times. But yeah, definitely seems becoming good. Tasby showing the sort of consistency. We always knew he had the pace, but showing a lot more consistency than we've ever seen from him before. And Inigo Anton joining from Safe House. I think that's been good as well, because Inigo's pushing Tasby nicely and they're both super quick.
Yeah, and he has a really strong following as well. I've noticed in the social media accounts and where we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Amma, I'm going to ask you a question, because with all due respect to all of the tracks we've had before, they felt very much like bike tracks, because they are bike tracks. But today, it's very much about four wheels.
Indeed, Adam, and the fact that, make no mistake, MotoGP and Superbikes do race here on Silverstone as well, but the wide open nature of the circuit really makes this an absolute car circuit, and we've seen some cracking races in the past, especially in regards to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. So with the likes of Williams here as well, with a lot of rich history that they have, I think we're going to have a really good race, good pair of races in prospect, Adam.
Define what you mean by good racing. Are we talking dramatic racing? Are you thinking of Hamilton Verstappen last year in Formula One? Is that what you're hinting at?
A bit of that, and a bit of the fact that there's been a lot of side-by-side racing this year alone in this year's British Grand Prix, where the cars went completely side-by-side through the likes of Stowe, and even through Copse even, actually. They can go side-by-side, almost flat out in those corners. So these are the exact same cars that we're racing on, which is basically V6 turbo hybrid engines, and with the same aero that we have in F1. I'm expecting a bit of the same as we saw this year in the British Grand Prix, Adam.
Prior to us commencing the show, Alex, you said you had this gut feeling that it's going to be a good day for racing. I want to know why you think that's the case.
Because it's heating up in the championship, isn't it? You know, Bianchi, we just saw from the highlights, had a great round 4, but I got a feeling Williams is going to come back strong, really strong. And look at that, we're in practice right now, and first and second, Ibrahim and Bianchi. So Mumbai Falcons at the top in practice right now as they prepare for qualifying. That's a good indicator because we know how quick they are. But I really do feel Williams is going to strike back very strongly, especially with Stefanko. And let's not forget, we just talked about Team Flash. They've also showed good improvements. Kalen Chin in Black Arts on screen now. Did he take a win? He took a pole position, so we know how quick Black Arts are. And of course, Sem9, you know, they've won a round as well. They've just been a bit inconsistent. If we get the same Sem9 we saw in round 2, they'll be fighting for wins too. So it's close. It's too close to call at a great track.
All right, let's start the qualifying. Going to pass the mic over to Des and Ammo.
Thanks very much. Yes, Ammo, Silverstone. I mean, for me, I'm from the UK, and Silverstone is the doyen of circuits since the 1940s. Well, since I was a kid, Silverstone has been the place. And even though I wasn't into motorsports when I was a kid, those corners, they still resonate with me, particularly the quick ones that you just mentioned, Copse and Beckett's. I've always loved that Beckett's little...
Absolutely. And of course, Stowe, we're going to expect a lot of action there as well as qualifying gets underway now, Des.
Okay, qualifying is underway. It's a 10-minute qualification. The drivers have got the opportunity to set a fastest lap. The top 5 racers will get themselves into points positions as well. So there's 5 points available for P1, 4 for P2, etc. As Adam and Alex told us in the build-up to this. These early laps, the 10-minute extended time, it gives the drivers a chance just to get out there, get the wheels nice and ready, get the tyres nice and warm, and then after the out lap, they'll go for a flying lap.
Indeed, and the fact that they do not want to also use up a lot of the battery at the start of the out lap, so they want to really conserve that battery power. They want to conserve the tire life to not really push it on the out lap, so they can get ready to just go in and just gun it for at least one lap.
Okay, let's just talk about some of the new racers. Dan Finney is a new racer as far as we're concerned. He's racing for the EGG team today, so a debut for him. What do we know about him? What do we expect from him?
One thing to know about, he's actually racing in his actual livery that RaceRoom made for him. So he is a community member, and he is quite well known among the RaceRoom circles. So it's quite nice to see that he is racing something that's meta to him. So quite nice there. Shout out to DDF Racer on that one and his subscribers. Quite nice to see a variety of colors on the ground. He also has the Aussie flag on the side. So Aussie.
Excellent stuff as well. Nurshaz Leeson is a racer who you've raced against on many occasions. You know him pretty well. He's coming in for a first appearance of the season for the Black Arts Racing team based in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I raced against Shaz. Really respectful driver. He gives you a lot of space, but he will try to, you know, eke out a bit of that pace around the outside to really take your position. So I'm betting on him to at least be around the top 10 area. If he could spring a surprise, I'd be really happy for him.
Okay, right. We're getting into the stage now where maybe 1 or 2 of the laps might start to be being set. Nakib Aslan for the Sem19. Now, Nakib's not the greatest qualifier, is he? Sometimes he's red hot, sometimes he's freezing cold. What are we expecting of Nakib today?
Well, I won't expect him to go off the boil, that's for sure. I really...
can't afford to, can he?
You can't at this moment in time because points are of the essence here. He really wants to get up into that top 5 every single qualifying session to salvage at least something out of this season if he wants to be in that title charge. And pole position-wise, he hasn't had one since season 1, so it's been a couple of seasons now. The last time he had was in all the way back in season 1, and it was at the Hungarian, if I'm mistaken. So that was the last time he had pole position. So really, then it's a long time coming for him. So he would love to come back to get on pole here at Silverstone.
He is fastest through sector 1 at the moment, and he's using the full width of the Silverstone circuit. Naqib Aslan, I mean, it is very, very early on, but now we're on board with Mohammed Ibrahim. Mohammed Ibrahim's the new fastest through sector 1 and through sector 2, and Mohammed Ibrahim is going to break the line in a time of 1:28.816. So Ibrahim, after a tough weekend for Mumbai Falcons last week, he is the pole sitter. Let's see what Naqib goes quicker. So we're on board with Naqib Aslan, a 1:28.971, 4 thousandths quicker than Mohammed Ibrahim. Ben Spanky is the man in P3 at the moment. Who else is really worth having a look at? Russell Reyes has gone quickly. Russell Reyes is in P4. Ben Spanky, the championship leader for Mumbai Falcons, in P3. But Naqib, the man on pole.
Yeah, but by just only 4,000. So Ibrahim, if we get to interview him, he might just say that he might have lost a bit of time here and there. But 4,000ths of a second is just a blink. Is even faster than a blink of an eye. That's how close it is. But I think Naqib might have been listening to our commentary because he hasn't had pole in 2 seasons. So what a time to do so here, since Aragon, in fact, in season 1.
We're still on board with Ben Spanky. I just need to tell you that Jack Keithley, the Williams driver, is suspended from this qualification because he's accumulated too many penalty points in the season so far, so he cannot qualify and will be right at the very back of the grid for race number 1. But this is his teammate, Martin Stefanko.
It's such a real shame, isn't it, for Keithley, because 2 home races in a row and he hasn't had the best of luck in terms of, home jitters, but I think he might just try to sieve his way through the pack like Nigel Mansell in 1987.
Don't be a bad lad, though. That's the message for the boy from Ipswich, the tractor boy. Won't be driving his tractor in the first race. But Martin Stefanko, who was the championship leader going into the last round of races. Now, Stefanko was looking very strong, but Banky has stolen his thunder in the last 2 races. Last 3 races, actually. Banky's won all 3.
Yeah, in fact, 3 races in a row that we've had that. I think that's the first time since, well, a couple seasons actually, we've had back-to-back-to-back winners. So really then, Banky setting a precedent here in the races, but qualifying likewise, conversely, has not been strong point. In fact, only in Donington he had his first pole position, so he might just want to play it safe here, Des.
Stefanko is only P7 at the moment, but he's on a flying lap at the moment. Do you want to talk us around the rest of this circuit as we're just coming towards the end of Sector 2?
Yeah, we just went through the first section, which was opened in 2010 through the Abbey Farm Village, the loop section, onto Aintree, then the Wellington Straight, where it's one of the few opportunities where you can get DRS on here, so we might expect overtaking coming into Brooklands. Then through Lovefield, site of many accidents in the past when it used to be a double right-hander. Now it's a long, continuous right-hander that heads up to Woodcote, and now Cops, point of contention last year with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, and I'm personally hoping there won't be accidents, but I think it'll be conversely for you. You might want to expect a few more accidents there. There's through Maggins and Beckett's, it's almost flat in that first section, but then you're going to have to lift off because the car kind of bottoms out through that second part of the assist before you come to Beckett's and then onto Chapel. Then the Hangar Straight, this is where the RF bombers used to be located. There used to be a hangar, now that's what they call a Hangar Straight. Coming out to Stowe, expect side-by-side action through here when the drivers are trying to be brave around the outside. Onto Vale, the final sector. We will also expect some overtaking maneuvers, but the right drivers who like to hang around the outside to defend, that is a commonality, especially among Formula cars with this much grip. And across the line for Stefanko is an improvement, but only P5.
P5 though for, and he's been dropped down because Russell Reyes is the new man on pole position. We didn't see that. We were busy watching Martin Stefanko, but Russell Reyes, JMX Phantom, has pulled a superb time out. And with only 3 minutes to go, well, he's certainly going to be in the top 5, but who's going to be good enough to catch him? Tell you what, who else has been quick? Mohammed Tasby put in a P4 effort, a 1:28.998.
Yeah, but we had to jump through now back to Naqib Aslan coming out of Vale onto the start-finish line through Club. Can he improve this time? No, he can't. He stays P3. He was on pole for a time being before Ibrahim and Reyes just jumped him.
What it means, though, is that Ben Spanky Naki is out of the points. Nakib looks a little bit despondent. Let's have a look at Ben Spanky. He's out of the points at the moment. A best time of 129.4, which is 4/10 down on a place. Ooh. And I tell you, Dafa Ardiansa, the other JMX Phantom racer, he's in the top 5 as well. So JMX look to have got their setup absolutely spot on. Here is Dafi Ardiansa, P5.
P3, in fact. He's jumped out to P3, so more and more drivers are being shuffled out of that top 5. It's constantly changing, so we're having a really competitive top 7 right now, Des.
But Russell Reyes is in the pits at the moment in P1. They look to have got it absolutely right. Mohammed Tasbi for Team Flash, well, he's 1/10 down at the end of the first sector. Unlikely to be able to improve his time. Who else can we really look at as being a potential contender?
Yep, I think we might have to stay on Tasby here. Let's see how he is through the second sector. If he went off the boils, if he goes off the boil in sector 2, we might just have to jump to another driver who's on a flyer. So he's coming up now to the sector 2 timing beam. Breaks there about here, still attempt. This is actually looking good, Des.
It's looking good for him. P5 at the moment. What's he got to make up? He's a 128.9, so he's only 2/10 down. So he could improve his own fastest time. At the moment he's in P5. What does he need? He needs to just improve by 200ths of a second to get up to P4.
And he needs another attempt to get out to P3, which looks like it is going to be P3.
It is indeed a P3 for Mohammed Tasbi. A breath of, whoa, that's a good lap. But tell you what, Team Flash, JMX Phantom, they are in there, and the championship leader, Ben Spanky, is out of the qualification times. My word, this is a change in the championship, a big change.
A big ebb and flow right now. It has ebbed and flowed so far this season, but if this is a big turning point in the championship, then Banky might just be looking over his shoulder sweatingly for the next couple of rounds if he wants to keep his championship lead, Des.
Wow, he's under real pressure. Kalen Chin, he can't qualify either. Let's see where we are on Martin Stefanko. He's only got 25 seconds left. There are a few seconds left in qualification, but at the moment it's Russell Reyes, first ever pole for the Filipino, racing for JMX Phantom. Ibrahim very fast. Mohammed Tasbi continues his good form. Dafi Ardiansa, the Indonesian, out of JMX Phantom as well. Naki Baslan got himself up into P5 for Sem 9, but this is a changing of the guard. And Russell Reyes, I've been looking at this fella all season, and I tell you, I knew he'd come good, and he has in this qualification.
Thanks there, Des and Ammo. Wow. That was out of nowhere. As we are watching, quite literally out of nowhere, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, JMX Phantom, first and fourth. Really great job. Russell Reyes and, of course, Dafa Ardiansa in P4 as well. Fantastic for the team. You know, JMX Phantom have been a little bit quiet. They actually were on course to win round 1, weren't they? They should have won round 1. Presley Martone had a spin towards the end of the race. Now we've got pole position with Russell Reyes, and that's fantastic. Hopefully we can get a chance to talk to him in a while. Yeah, and Mohammed Ibrahim, P2 as well.
He needed points. He needs a strong race today.
I'm very impressed with Ibrahim because, you know, he's carrying quite a bit of success balance. So for him to be 2 is awesome. But let's go to Russell Reyes right now. Russell, great job. Pole position. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Of course, it's my first time getting a pole position in this league, so very happy.
I mean, it must have been was it a perfect lap? Could he have gone any faster? I mean, you are on pole position with a very, very good field of drivers.
I think I got lucky because Martin Stefanko was ahead of me, so I had a little bit of tow. But other than that, it was a good lap. Yeah.
Well, you make your own luck, so congratulations on that. What's the plan for the race 1?
Just try to stay ahead of these fast drivers and make it to the end. Yeah.
Keep your cards close to your chest, sir. Congratulations. Good luck for the race later, okay?
Thanks, bye-bye.
We always ask what's the strategy, but they never ever give anything away, do they?
Yeah, ever. No, they don't. But fantastic, Russell Reyes. Really pleased for him. He's a real life driver as well. To get his pole position is fantastic. And of course, we have to talk to Mohammed Ibrahim. You know, Ibrahim had a great lap just now. I mean, if anything, he was the most impressive for me in this qualifying.
Why?
Because he's carrying a bit more success ballast. You know, Russell Reyes and Mohammed Tasbi don't have quite as much success ballast as Ibrahim. It's not a lot, but it's enough to make a couple tenths around Silverstone. So let's talk to Ibrahim now. Ibrahim, I mean, you must be happy with P2, although you were so close to taking your second pole of the season. Oh,
Can you hear us?
He's off practicing already.
Oh, he's practicing already.
Can you hear us?
Him.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your practice. Great qualifying for you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear.
So could you've gone a bit fast? I'm sure you're going to tell us you could have got off the pole.
I could have gone a lot faster. I've never had a clean quali session this entire E1 championship, so.
Okay. Well, good.
I'm just going to jump in and ask you a quick question, because how important is today's race for you? Ben Spanky, he is leading the championship overall. It just feels you've had a lot of rotten luck in all the previous rounds so far.
Yes, yeah, I've had a lot of unfortunate bits in the season, but hopefully I'll come back stronger. You know, this sim is quite new to me. This is just my second time driving RaceRoom, so I'm pretty happy with how I'm doing because the other guys have loads more experience than me on this platform.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck at the race later, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Already straight into it, already practicing. Yeah. We interrupted his practice.
Well, you can see he's got an eye on the prize. He hasn't had a win this season yet, you know what I mean? And his teammate just had 2 in the previous round, so he's out to win today.
All right, well, step 1 of today's race is done, the qualifying, which means the race is going to be coming up next. We're going to go for a really quick break. When we return, the grid is already set. Are you ready? Because we certainly are here in the studio. See you shortly. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. Support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Vaslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib might want to actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kaylin's been there as well. Actually, Kaylin now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the game. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are up to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
Welcome back to E1 Championship 2022. This is round 5. My name's Adam Carruthers alongside the race director Alex Young. It's organised by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro. Supported by MAM, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and RaceRoom. We're live on Arena plus Asuka. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Just simply look up E1 Championship. We're also broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. If you've just tuned in, we're minutes away from the race, but you might have missed out on qualifying. So here's a recap with Des and Amma.
And new kids on the block at the top of the qualification. Russell Reyes, the Filipino, for JMX Phantom, picking up P1. Dafa Ardianza, his teammate in P4. Mohammed Tasbi carrying on his good work. Amo, new kids coming to the fore, and the big boys in danger of missing out.
Yeah, absolutely, Des. It's quite nice to see. It's a bit refreshing to see that guys like Reyes have actually upset the apple cart somewhat.
There you have it, the qualifying, and it's about a minute till the race itself. What are we expecting here? Because Ibrahim, he looks confident today. We literally just spoke to him.
Yeah, super intense as always. I always enjoy interviewing him because he's so intense. Doesn't always say the practice thing, the polished thing, but you always get a good answer from him. So, yeah, he's going to be hard to beat. He has got a split success ballast. Don't forget, we do have success ballasts. Like the championship leader has 15, second is 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So pretty much everyone in the top 5s are carrying ballasts because they are in the top 10 in the championship, but Ibrahim's carrying more than everyone else. Having said that, I think he's still going to be hard to beat. And can Stefanko and Bianchi do anything, you know, 6 and 7?
Well, Stefanko, of course, Keithley was suspended, so it hasn't been the best of starts so far today for Williams on home territory.
Yes, well, but we also know the race pace is there, so you can't discount them. Anything can happen. Okay, race 1 is only 15 minutes, but race 2 is a half-an-hour race, and they'll be strong for sure.
Okay, it looks like we're pretty much ready, so I'm going to pass you straight over to Des and Amo for the first race of the day.
Thanks very much. Yes, a real upset there in many ways. New kids on the block, JMX Phantom. It's exactly what we wanted in this championship. Williams, we were worried, would run away with it. Mumbai Falcons, then we thought, would run away with it. Neither has, although, to be fair, Ibrahim's put in a pretty special qualification lap.
Absolutely. In fact, it was just only 400ths off Russell to get that pole position. And if you look closely just now, Asians all in the top 5. So they have actually stomped on European ground and say, yeah, you wanted better of us. Will fight you twice as hard. So it's nice to see that the quality of the grid is really there. You can see real good drivers come up to the crop, but at the same time, other drivers can challenge as well. So it's an even match right now.
When the grid starts, Ben Spanky will be on the 4th row of the grid. We're just about to get into the race. It's a 15-minute sprint race. Amo Hazik alongside Des Corkhill. Amo with the expert analysis on what the race's strategy is going to be. Particularly, I'm going to ask you, Jack Keithley, who was suspended from qualification and will be right at the back of the grid. Has he got to try to be patient or just try and pick up points? Will get something out of today, yeah?
Well, he's definitely going to go for broke because the championship's hanging by a thread in this case for him.
Okay, when the red lights go off, we will be underway. Race number 1, a 15-minute sprint. Russell Reyes from JMX Phantom on pole position. Russell Reyes has got off to a solid start as well, except he's been overtaken by Mohammed Ibrahim. Reyes got off well. Ibrahim went off, whoa, like a firework. Sensational stuff for him. Tasbi's got ahead of Reyes as well, and Naki Baslan as well. So Russell Reyes got away smoothly, but has dropped down to P4. Amo.
Wow, that is a disastrous start there for Reyes, but shooting like a gun for the firebrand Ibrahim to be in front. But he's got one part of that job done to start. He's going to have to focus on the race now, Des.
He certainly is. Mohammed Ibrahim, though, he was looking very quick. I know Alex Young was particularly impressed with his lap, 4,000th away from actually getting P1 in qualification. But Russell Reyes now down in P4. There's a problem. Ben Spanky's come up a couple of places, and Daffy Ardian Ardianza's dropped down behind them. And is that Nabil Aslam?
Nakib, there's Nakib.
So Nakib is in P3. Nabil has got himself up into P8. Stefanko is there. Where is Keithley? Keithley's down in P17.
No, in fact, he's cut up to P17 if we're going to be honest, because he started way at the back. So he made up 4 positions at the start. That's good, but he's still well a ways away from getting into any inroads with the guys in front.
A good point, well made. Russell Reyes tries to go down the inside, tries to claw one of those places back, but he's unable to do it. Banky is right on his tail. Bence Banky is trying to push his way through. We are on board here with Kalen Chin, and who's that?
That might be Dafa Ardianza. It is Ardianza who's actually been hit there by Kalen. So luckily no damage for either both of those drivers, but that would have been a good wake-up call for the Indonesian.
Well, Martin Stefanko in P7 he was in P7 at the start, so he's just got a place. Dafi Ardianza had a really good qualification, but now he's dropped down a little bit. But it's still everybody chasing Mohammed Ibrahim, who's got nearly half a second on Mohammed Tasbi. Now, we're expecting a lot of overtaking, but you've got to get close to the back of the car in front.
Yeah, indeed. Look, we got that point right now. DRS is open for a lot of the drivers because they were within that second when they came across the line. And look, nothing much just yet because the DRS train somewhat negates that. So if everyone's on the DRS button, you can't overtake. So you're going to have to wait until there's a bit of clear air to get that overtake done.
Okay, let's have a look at Mohammed Ibrahim. He's the race leader. The front 4 are pulled away quite significantly. Ibrahim, Tasbi, Nakib and Russell Reyes is still in there. Banky is leading the best of the rest, but Ibrahim is setting a torrid pace. That gap goes up, well, it's 0.3 of a second at the moment, but it has been as high as 0.8 once he gets onto the long straights.
Amazingly though, Ibrahim makes up a lot of time through the corners, so really then he's been focusing on trying to get his exits right and negate the advantage that Tasbi has with the DRS. So despite being under attack from the guys behind, he's still holding on to a comfortable lead somewhat.
There is Tasbi as they come through the sharp left and right. Tasbi in P2. What an improvement we've seen from Team Flash in the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely, and they're the team of our focus today. And look at that, Tasbi doing the business here up in second. So he's still asserting the pressure somewhat to Ibrahim, but it's just ebbing and flowing right now, so we'll wait until the tires start to follow the cliff somewhat to see if any advantage is negated for certain drivers.
Let's drop down just a little bit to the pole setter, Russell Reyes in the JMX Phantom. He lost a lot of time. He dropped down to P4, but he's been able to hold on to P4, and you can see that's a significant lead those front 4 have got ahead of Bence Banky in P5.
Oh, Banky really struggling right now with that success ballot as he's carrying, in fact, 15 kilos, maybe according to Alex, worth up to about 0.4 of a second. So he's being hurt right now by that balance. But Kalen, on the other hand, may want to actually avoid doing a lot of that if he wants to get up to the back of him.
Yeah, this is the battle for. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 going through. This is Bence Banky, the championship leader, who's won the last 3 races under pressure from Kalen Chin. Now, Kalen had a memorable week last week. He got a P2 and he gave us a little bit of agony as well in the second race. But Kalen's another one who is coming right into form.
Ooh. Well, speaking of form, that was actually quite close to becoming absolute tatters there. He went off the track into Chapel, but luckily kept it going, and somehow he was using the DRS through the grass. That is brave.
He loses just a little bit of time there as he goes onto the curbing. He's under pressure. Behind him is Martin Stefanko. Stefanko comes in.
And not really a good homecoming, a second homecoming, if you will, for Williams. 2 races in a row held on home ground. They haven't had the best of performances, but Stefanko, if he stays where he is right now, he might lose some points to Banky, but he will start in front of him for race 2.
All right, we need just to have a little chart on how Jack Keithley is doing. Jack Keithley wasn't allowed to qualify because he'd accumulated too many penalty points throughout the season. He started right at the very back of the grid. He's got himself up into P11 as they man from Ipswich. Up at the front, though, let's just break away from that because Mohammed Ibrahim is under pressure from Tasbi.
And he's under pressure not only from just Tasbi, but Nakib as well, and Russell looking to capitalize on any mistakes those front 2 make. This is looking rather dicey here. We do not want to see an accident, especially on my part, because we don't want to ruin in the stakes of the championship. But Ibrahim there has to be so careful not to actually trip up right now, because if he takes all 4 of them out, that will actually open up for Banky to take another win.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a very, very tight line. So where's this overtaking going to happen? We spoke beforehand. There might might be overtaking opportunities, but nobody seems like they're really able to force the situation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a DRS train forming right now because, again, if multiple cars have DRS open, you cannot overtake. It's simulated well in RaceRoom, actually. If multiple cars have DRS, it's just impossible to overtake. But you do get closer, so it's just that the moment that you use the DRS to overtake is not happening. But for the time being, at least, the gap is still close between the top 4.
Okay, we are approaching the halfway mark. They come over the start-finish line. Mohammed Ibrahim from Mohammed Tasbi, Naki Baslan and Russell Reyes. Reyes is getting close. Let's just have a little look a little bit further down. Axel Knockham, I'm afraid, is out of this race. Ben Spanky, this is the battle for P5. Championship leader has been able to hold off Kalen Chin, Martin Stefanko and Daffy Ardianza, who had such a good qualification period, but Daffy is down in P8, but not too far behind. He's in a train of, what, 6-7 cars?
I would say 4 at the moment because I don't see Nabil or Anton in this particular shot. So it's a train of 4x4 for the first 2, then you can see the other 2 behind there. If Nabil can get closer, they can actually form a train of at least up to 7 cars even, all the way up to Jack Keithley, because Keithley's not that far from this particular battle either.
You're quite right. There is Jack Keithley. That is the view that Jack Keithley has. He's up in P11 at the moment. Very, very quickly, I need to go back to P2, where Naki Baslan is right on the tail of Mohammed Tasbi. These two have locked horns many, many times in the E1 Championship and in other domestic championships, as has Mohammed Ibrahim for that matter. But it really is looking as though it's difficult to overtake here. I was expecting a lot more opportunities, but the train is winning.
Yeah, but at least the gaps are close. You can actually see that maybe the drivers are trying to contemplate where to overtake. So it's not like previous races where it was a bit spread out. This one's at least much closer. So thankfully, we can see that the DRS does help out a bit. But I guess because the nature of the cars just makes it that way. But we'll wait and see. Drivers might just actually be a bit more ballsy and try to actually get some overtakes done. But for the time being, they're holding their cards very close.
Okay, let's just go down away from this just for a little while. Let's look at our 2 debutants. Dan Finney, the Australian, in those colours that you like so much. He's down in P14 at the moment. Fastest lap time of 1:33.296. So he's about a second off the pace. He's struggling a little bit. Nurshaz Lizam, another of your friends, he's 1 place down on him and is actually under pressure from Mihai Neg in this the battle for the final point in P15, and Mihai Neg spins off almost as if our camera went onto him and added too much weight to his car.
Yeah, and unfortunately he had to go off there where the curb on the outside just catches him out. Mercifully though, he avoided hitting the bridge that took out Kimi Räikkönen back in 2014, so he can still go on.
Okay, back up to the front. This is the battle for P1, except it's not a battle because Ibrahim has been able to hold the others at bay for ever since the first lap. What lap are we on? We're on lap 6, so 6 laps around Silverstone. Despite all the opportunities, despite the width of the track, despite DRS, Mohammed Ibrahim is still holding on, is looking good.
Indeed, and the fact that this is pretty much a good way to bounce back, isn't it, for Ibrahim after such a mixed round in Donington, and what a way to get his first win of the season, to launch him back into title contention. Even
premature. Third of the race still to go.
I know, but I know what you mean. I'm just trying to say that Ibrahim's looking really good right now to hold on to this, because he's a cool, calm operator. When he leads a race, he knows how to hold on to it. He's almost like Jorge Lorenzo in MotoGP. When he leads, he holds on to it.
Okay, again, let's just go down. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 who've been following that same pattern for a while. Behind them, oh, have a look at this. Stefanko is having a look around the outside of Kalen Chin. Kalen has to defend. Stefanko tries to make it stick, but Kalen Chin just has enough straight line speed and is able to go into the corner. But Stefanko is pressing on the teenage Aussie Singaporean.
And also the fact that I've been noticing in quite a few laps now that Kalen seems to really struggle in the exit. He just cannot get the car on the powered stable enough to really have really good exits. He's been struggling on that, so that's why when he was catching up the Banky, he looked close, but then on the exit he just slides, so he really cannot get the power onto the ground easy enough to actually challenge. Now he is really under big pressure from Stefanko.
Yeah, Stefanko is making a concerted move as we're into the final 4.5 minutes of this race. We are at Silverstone. It's race 1 of 2 of round 5 of 7 of the E1 Championship. Up at the front, Mohammed Ibrahim is still leading the way. Ben Spanky in P5 P5. This is the battle for P6. Kalen Chin in the red, just holding on for Black Arch Racing. Behind them, Daffy Ardianta is trying to make a move as well. JMX Phantom on the back of Nabil Aslan. But I've said it thrice, 4 times now. Overtaking isn't as easy as we anticipated.
Yeah, because in the real race, we have a precedent before with these kind of cars with Formula 1 in the British Grand Prix. They went completely side by side, and the fact that there were a couple of DRS zones to aid that as well. So I think they're just taking it quite slowly. Also the fact that it's still quite a difficult car to drive. 1,000 horsepower on your right foot.
Now then, Jack Keithley has got himself ahead of Inigo Anton. So Keithley, this is a good result, but it'll only be worth 6 points in the overall championship standings. But considering he started way, way down, 6 points is good, and he's got Daffy Ardianta and Nabil Aslan ahead of him.
And if he is actually playing his cards right, he might stay at P10 to be on pole position in race number 2, then take advantage of that from there. We've seen Stefanko do that already once in Assen when he had a poor race 1.
There is the cynical mind of Amo Hazik at play. But you're quite right, you'd want to be on pole, it'd be a nice place. Certainly like to be on the front row. So a P9 I'm sure would be quite good. The more points you can get, the better. But trying to rescue it as Kalen Chin and Stefanko is really making a lot of moves to try to get ahead of Kalen Chin. This is a cracking battle. And look at the concentration of Martin Stefanko down left of your screen.
And look at that around the outside. He's going to go through snow. That is a good move there. He did kind of like a Nigel Mansell there, selling Kalen short on the inside and goes around the outside swooping in. But Kalen will fight back and he will have the DRS next standby.
Okay, right then. I can tell you there's been a significant change at the front. Russell Reyes has got ahead of Naqib Aslan. So Russell Reyes, who was fastest in qualification, has actually got ahead of Naqib. Everyone's on hard tyres, so it's all about driver capabilities at the moment. Maybe Naqib just made a little mistake, and Russell Reyes, the fast Filipino, we've got to call him now, has got himself into P3.
Yep, and judging by the race incidents board, I think he did not make a mistake in terms of going off track. So Reyes legitimately had a move there and took away 3rd place from him. But now he may have left it a bit too late to challenge Tasbi and Ibrahim.
Into the final 2 minutes, though. Again, there's a real battle. Stefanko, we know, has got ahead of Kalen Chin. Kalen Chin is now under pressure from Nabil Aslan. This is the battle for P7. Will return to the lead in a very, very short while. Mohammed Ibrahim leads Mohammed Tasbi by the best part of a second. Russell Reyes and Naqib Aslan 3 and 4. This is the battle between Chin and Nabil.
Oh, I was anticipating that they could try to use the DRS through cops. That will be absolutely big cojones there if they do so. But I think it's better to just turn it off and try to have more aero through the corners. But just trying to focus on whether or not in the slow sections that Kalen will have enough drive out of those corners, because he's been struggling to get the power onto the road to challenge up to somebody. And now it's a full DRS train of 5 cars with Keithley at the back.
Keithley at the back. Let's have a look at Jack Keithley. Yes, there he is. Will he risk something? Will he risk a crash, or will he be happy, as you say, with the pole position in race number 2?
I would go for the latter, but then again, I am actually not Jack Keithley at the moment. So Jack will try to do his own race under his own destiny. So wait and see what he does. But he's looking quite conservative right now. He's just looking where to overtake, but at the moment he's holding up his pace as Kalen tries to send one on the inside there, coming up to Village, but no way through just yet.
Yeah, Kalen Chin on the back of Stefanko. Kalen looks on the inside, and Nabil, who went on board with, is just very, very close to taking the opportunity. Ahead of them, Naqib Aslan is maybe just going to have a final little charge on Russell Reyes to try to take back that first P3. But let's have a look at Mohammed Ibrahim. He has led from the first corner. He wasn't on pole, but he was very, very quick. But he has really taken this race away from everybody else and is currently comfortably in P1, a full second clear of Mohammed Tasbi.
The race was made at the start, that's for sure. He really had to get that start right to jump up to Reyes and hold off Tasbi, and he's done that so brilliantly. So whatever setup that Mumbai Falcons has, it has worked out a treat for the Indian.
Okay, so Mohammed Ibrahim, we are on the final lap here. He is looking very, very good for a 25 points, and it's looking good for Mumbai Falcons. If Bent Banki can't win, then Mohammed Ibrahim can. That's the story for them. Behind him, Mohammed Tasbi in 2, Russell Reyes under pressure from Naqib Aslan in 3, but the victory has gone to Mohammed Ibrahim. And Mumbai Falcons are picking up maximum points. Tasby second, Reyes third. Ben Spanky comes in P5, and Jack Keithley will finish in P10, having started right at the back of the grid. But let's just talk about Mohammed Ibrahim. Alex picked him out very, very early on as the man to really watch for. Ibrahim himself was very, very focused when we went for the interview. It's a fine 25 points and catapults him back into championship contention.
And what a way to win your first race of the season, isn't it, Des? To pick it up at the most crucial point of this season, the final 3 rounds where it all really matters. And the 7th win of Ibrahim's career in E1 is probably the sweetest.
And Mohammed Tasby, let's talk about the young Singaporean. He is often in the shadow of his more illustrious brother who is away in America. So Tasby is making a name for himself, and Team Flash have grown into this championship. And this is just a case of Tasby is able to get used to this vehicle as he is there. Russell Reyes P3 and fastest lap for Russell Reyes. Good kid. Well done, JMX Phantom. Naki Baslan in P4. Ben Spanky picking up a P5. And Stefanko getting up to 6 ahead of Chin, Nabil, Ardianta and Jack Keithley.
Thank you very much there, Des in ammo. Back here with Alex Young. What a start from Mohammed Ibrahim. That's what defined his race. He never lost pole after he secured P1.
Absolutely. Ibrahim, standout performer so far today. Didn't get pole position, but what a great first race. No DRS, able to stay in front quite easily. Russell Reyes didn't get the start he wanted. I feel if he'd got a better start, he could have fought Ibrahim for first, but he managed to recover up to P3. And what was interesting was, it was a fixed setup. Today's a fixed setup round, and it was interesting watching what everyone else was doing, because they were trying to find ways of driving around the issues they had. You know, Ibrahim and Tasby were keeping it very neat, making sure they hit the apexes. Nakib in third was just throwing the car in, carrying lots of speed and having a lot of understeer on the exit. I'm sure he would have chewed through his front tires, and that's probably why he lost a position to Russell Reyes at the end. But it was interesting watching the different driving techniques of the different drivers as they tried to adjust a fixed setup. Now, I know we talked to Ibrahim after he got, you know, earlier on in P2 qualifying. Let's talk to Tasby, shall we?
I think so. Team Flash carrying on the good form from last week and the week before, where you were the overall winner. We were expecting more overtaking, Tasby. You were right on Mohammed Ibrahim's tail throughout the entire race. Was it a bit harder than expected? We're trying to theorize why.
Yeah, I think this circuit, it's probably the hardest to follow the car around. When we first started practicing a week ago, we noticed that immediately. The dirty air is quite a lot on this circuit, and it's really hard to follow the car around. Yeah, I think if you're below half a second, you lose a lot of time. So yeah, when I was just in that DRS gap, I thought, let's maintain it, let's put some pressure so that he makes a mistake. And yeah, he fair play to him, he didn't make a mistake, but still happy with the P2.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good result. So the dirty hair is tricky, so that's going to make this reverse grid race very tricky.
Yeah, I think clean air is going to be the main target here, because I think even for the past few rounds, the DRS has never been this bad, but for this round, I can really feel
So maybe an early pit stop?
You have to wait and see, I guess. There's a few plans for us going into race 2.
Someone's going to be doing early pit stops for sure, though.
I mean, yeah, let's see how they do it, and then let's see how we do it.
Okay.
Let's see how it works out at the end. But happy to know that even with a fixed setup on and off, that the car, I can still drive the car into the podium position effectively. So yeah, still happy with race 1.
That's a very wry smile you have. You're not giving anything away. Congratulations on the position here. Good luck in the reverse grid race later, okay?
Yes, thank you.
All the best. Before we speak to the next person, just a quick mention of, you said Mohammed Ibrahim is brilliant, but we have to say Russell Reyes as well.
Yeah, Russell Reyes, great job, recovered to the P3. But it's interesting what Tasby's saying about the dirty air, because when we've done E1 before with the FRX 17, dirty air was not such a big problem in Silverstone. But today, with the new car, FRX 22, it has been an issue. But one driver that managed to get around this, Jack Keithley, and we got him online right now. Keithley, obviously, tough for you, had to miss out qualifying, but from last to P10, that was super impressive.
Thank you. That was very good. I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like I could have got 9th at the end, but then when you got everyone on the DRS and then the dirty air coming to that corner at the end of the hangar straight, It's just really annoying. But I feel like 10th, I'm pretty satisfied with that. At least it puts me in a decent spot to be in the reverse grid ballot. So we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, pretty good. Pole position for the reverse grid race 2.
Exactly, and I need to ask Hugh, because on commentary, Amma was pointing that out. When you got into P10, maybe it's something you would just want to hold on to as we head towards the reverse grid, because that certainly works in your favor.
Wait a minute, remind me what the bracket is, because for some reason, I'm thinking it was 6th, 10th. Am I wrong?
No, top 10 reverse, so you start on pole, mate.
Oh,
so
yes.
Obviously, he wasn't planning for that.
No, or unless you're playing mind games with us now.
No,
Maybe.
no, hey, mind games is not something I ever do. Trust me, I don't. But no, I honestly did not think 10th was that, and wow, I'm happy with that then. So both me and Martin will be 1st and 5th. 1st and 4th, I think. So I'm really happy with that.
Well done. We like to be the bearer of good news. Good luck in the reverse grid, Jack.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Absolutely, it's amazing. You're suspended for qualifying, middle of the road for race 1, and then he's going to be starting P1.
And that was super impressive because no one fell off in that race. So everyone was there doing consistent laps, and he just was able to maybe try a different line a couple times, use the DRS obviously, and P10 was really impressive.
All right, we've just had a little bit of racing. The main race, because it's going to be 30 minutes long, is just a few minutes away. We're going to go for a quick break. We're going to return the reverse grid next in the E1 Championship 2022. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. Support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Baslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib may one time should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead of the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Bence is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
Welcome back, E1 Championship 2022. I'm Adam Carruthers. The race director Alex Young is beside me. This is organised, by the way, by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, supported by MAM, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and also RaceRoom. We are live on Arena Plus on Suka as well, and we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Share this with all your friends who might be around the entire globe. Look up E1 Championship as it is on your screen right now. We're also broadcasting across the region in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and finally in Indonesia via TVRI Sport. So we say hi to all of our friends across the entire region right now. We've had qualifying, we've had also the first race, the sprint race, and now we're going to be heading into the reverse grid. But before that, highlights of what we saw minutes ago with Des and Ammo.
Race number 9 of 14 for the season. Russell Reyes of JMX Phantom on pole position for the first time, but found himself swamped by Ibrahim, Tasby and Naki Baslan. Dropped from P1 to P4, and he did recover to P3, but you've really got to capitalise on P1 when you have the opportunity.
Absolutely, the starts apparently make the race for this one, and we expect it to be at least, you know, a lot of wheel-to-wheel action compared to something like this. For example, Stefanko and Galen, they were together throughout the entire race, but apparently dirty air is also a factor, so we had to watch that out in race 2.
Yeah, P1 to P4 were virtually settled, so we focused very much on this battle between Kalen Chin and Martin Stefanko, the one-time championship leader Stefanko, desperately trying to get Williams on home soil at Silverstone into a better place, and he did that with a fabulous overtaking manoeuvre.
Absolutely, around the outside, that's what you love to see around Stowe, but for Stefanko it was not enough to make any inroads to the guys in front because they were so far ahead, and it was just plain sailing at the front for Ibrahim.
Remarkably, a first win of the season for Mohamed Ibrahim. Tasby second. Russell Reyes continues his really good season with a first podium, finishing up in P3. But Ibrahim with maximum points, as we have a look at the overall points. 25 points for Ibrahim, 20 for Mohamed Tasby, Team Flash in P2. Reyes picking up P3 and also fastest lap for a bonus 2 points, 18 in total, ahead of Nakib. But what of the rest? Banky and Stefanko, they've got some work to do in race 2.
Absolutely, and the likes of Keithley as well will love to be on pole position in race 2.
Okay, as to the overall results, what it means. Ding, as it comes up. Ibrahim will pick up 29 points from race 1 plus his qualification. Reyes, that's a really good haul. 23 points for both him and Tasby. Tasby is always so quietly effective.
Absolutely, he's just a bit incognito, but when the results are there, it's there for all to see how he is such a cool and calm operator. We'll love to see him do more the same in race 2.
Okay, Dafa Ardianza, good performance from him as well. 7 points from the race plus 2 from qualification, and plenty to look forward to in race 2.
Thanks as always, Des and Ammo. And how much does Mohamed Ibrahim need that? Heading into today's round, he was sitting in 4th for the championship standing. So this is going to put him in a much stronger position. Remember, after this, there's only 2 rounds left. And there's very few drivers, Alex, I'll admit, when I've watched all the races, they can hold on to P1 from effectively start to finish. But Mohamed Ibrahim, he just has that ability on his day with a little bit of luck as well.
Yeah, I mean, the dirty air definitely helped him. That start was where he made it, got into the first position. But still, you know, his pace was so good. Even, you know, he really was super consistent, made no mistakes, hit his marks every time, and that's why he won the race. And it's nice to see him rewarded with that, because he's had a bit of bad luck this season. You know, he should have won. He's been on pole before. Should have won, I think, 2 races this season, but, you know, got involved in some incidents and stuff, perhaps a bit too aggressive, but finally gets his first win of the season, and I think that's going to put him to 3rd position in the championship now. And now we've got the reverse grid race. Let's see what he can do from here.
Yeah, it's not too far away. Really quickly, Amma, I'm going to ask you, because you were talking up Williams, the Heritage, Silverstone and all of that. What do you reckon now that Jack Keithley's going to be P1 here?
Yeah, he'll try to pull off something what Clay Regazzoni did back in 1979 to earn this iteration of Williams, their first ever Grand Prix win, and how emotional that day was. And Keithley will love to emulate that as well. And right up at the front, we know when we saw in round 1 in Sepang how he qualified near to the front and just stayed there in first to get fastest lap as well. He will try to do the same thing here to really kickstart his championship fight.
How do you store all this information, Amo? You're a remarkable statistician. Is it just something that sticks in the memory? Because you weren't around watching the race in those days, were you?
No, I might have been some particle floating around watching the races, but nah, it's just, you know, a love of motorsports history, and it's just something to have Williams and Silverstone at this point in time, right? In virtual racing, it's quite nice to see. So just to play up to that bit of history and heritage is what we love to talk about.
Okay, let's have a look at somebody who's been really spectacular. P3 qualified fastest, is giving us a little bit of fun on the track at the moment. Russell Reyes, the fast Filipino. He is really turning on a fabulous season.
Absolutely. What a way for a rookie to just come in and really storm now. He is just a few tenths away from a win, but you know, make no mistake, he'll try to aim for this one here in race 2.
Okay, I believe we're pretty close to actually getting onto race number 2. Which is a 30-minute reverse grid race, and that means tactics come into play. Definitely one pit stop, dependent upon tyre wear, dependent on fuel.
Yeah.
It could be 2.
And absolutely, remember what happened in Donington, where Josh, despite having the optimal amount of fuel that he had in the tank, still ran out. Because probably the way that he applied the throttle through the corners, he might have blipped a bit too much. It was draining the fuel. So Kalen, he and him were on the same, but fuel's going to be a bit of a factor here.
Okay, importantly, Jack Keithley from Williams will be on pole position. Finished P10, started in P22, P21, sorry, got himself up to P10. That could be significant because he's had a dodgy couple of weeks. Donington didn't go well for him. Silverstone suspended. P10. He needs a 25-pointer here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a kick up the rear end that he needs to really kickstart his title charge coming into the final 2 rounds of the season.
Okay, race number 2 is just a few seconds away. We are actually on the grid, and Jack Keithley is the man in pole position in the Williams on the right-hand side of the screen. Daffy Ardianza, Nabil Aslan and Kalen Chin on the first and second rows. Stefanko on the third. Oh, it's a slowish start from Keithley. Behind him, Daffy Ardianza has made a good start, as has Nabil Aslan. Nabil Aslan is the man who has really gone away. Keithley, though, has retaken it, or has he tried to go through the inside, but Nabil just had momentum to get through.
Wow, that is a good start there. Again, pole sitter for 2 straight races, didn't get good launches off the line despite being on the racing line. So really then, they're gonna have to watch the starts for the next round as Keithley goes onto the inside, coming out to Brooklands. They're going side by side here, but Nabil lets him through.
Nabil let him through because he wants to maybe try just to take the initiative, but Jack Keithley, well, that's a great battle for P1. Neither really wants to crash, but Nabil's got himself into P2, and his brother Nakib has got himself up into P3, I can tell you. But this is a brilliant battle up at the front.
Yep, absolutely, and we're just into the first few corners of the first lap here, so if this goes on all the way, I'm all for it. But for the time being, at least, they're pretty much on the same strategy. In fact, different. Keithley's on mediums. He wants to go short.
Indeed, Keithley is on mediums, as is Stefanko, as is Axel Knockom. I can tell you, though, a real problem for Mohammed Tasbi. Team Flash, P2 in race 1. He's right down at the back. That's Miko Nassi in front of him and Dan Finney in front of him, but something has happened to Mohammed Tasbi in the early stages. As Dan Finney is pushed outwards. Welcome to the E1 Championship, Mr. Finney.
Yep, he got pushed out by Lance Lauder. I think Lance didn't look in his mirrors because he was side by side with him. Tasbi was involved in a collision, and I hazard to guess he might have actually been in a collision with Miko, so he's right at the back here trying to carve his way through.
Okay, so that's P19. We'll revisit that. At this stage, though, Jack Keithley, medium compound tyres. So he'll try to establish as big a lead as he possibly can. Then we'll see what kind of compound tyres he comes out on. How is Silverstone? How wearing is it on the tyres?
A bit hard on the tyres, especially through the fact that there's a lot of fast corners too, so they want to watch out, particularly the left-hand side. So the left-hand side of the tyres will wear out the most because it's a clockwise circuit.
Okay, well, this is the battle for P5. We're on board here with Daffy Ardianza for JMX Phantom. Right behind him has got Kalen Chin, Ben Spanky, Inigo Anton, who didn't really shine in race number 1. Once again, we've got a procession of cars. How to get past them. The overtaking maneuvers weren't as many as we thought they might be in race number 1.
Yeah, dirty air apparently a factor, according to a lot of the drivers, including the likes of Ibrahim. So we kind of know that is established now. And look, Ibrahim stuck in P10. He's not make any inroads.
Yeah, the race winner in race number 1. Oh, always looks so anxious as he chats away either to his teammates or possibly to himself. But there he is in race number 1. But he's certainly, we shouldn't count him out. It's Shin Masvilton in the all-black safe house car in front of him, and Inigo Anton in front of him.
Well, this might be an opportunity, Des. He might try to send one coming out to Vale. Yes, he's looking onto the inside. Brave move there, and he makes it stick.
Very, very brave from Vale as they go around club corner towards the home straight. Mohammed Ibrahim has got himself up into P9. How about the housewives' favourite, Axel Knock-On? We've not really focused on Axel, the 10-year-old for Team EGG, down in P12, had a disastrous race number 1. He's struggling just a little bit, as young Axel.
Yeah, but it looks good in race 2 here. He made a lot of ground in that first lap, as we now need to focus on what's happening between the two brothers. No, in fact, it's under attack from Stefanko.
Yeah, Martin Stefanko of Williams. Williams in 1 and 4 at the moment. Stefanko trying to get around the outside of Naqib Aslam. Stefanko on medium compounds as well, so he will have the advantage, certainly in the early number of laps. Lap 3 we're on at the moment, so those tyres will have the advantage of speed. He just needs to get the opportunity to get past Naqib Aslam.
Well, I'll tell you what, he might just try to fancy his luck coming onto the hangar straight. Not through Mackers and Backers. You do not want to overtake through here. Going side by side here, it's almost death. So he holds on to that one. But Nabil is struggling as well in front, so he's giving an opportunity for Naqib himself to get up to the back of him.
Okay, so Nabil is in P2 and Naqib goes around the outside of Nabil. Is he able to make it stick? Yes, Naqib overtakes his brother, and then Stefanko goes through on the inside as well. Is Nabil able to hold on? No, Stefanko does really well, but that's cheeky from Naqib Aslam, and poor old Nabil is left looking, well, at 2 cars in front of him that were behind him.
He was left out to dry there, Des. He absolutely was left out to dry because he had no DRS, and the fact that he couldn't defend compared to what Ibrahim did in race 1 says something about the way that, okay, it's a fixed setup, but maybe the way that he placed his car coming up to that hangar straight. The exit wasn't as good as he expected. Now he's got DRS here. Will he try to retaliate?
We'll go on to that in just a moment. We just need to visit Jack Keithley, who has established a 3.5 second lead. Very early stages. We're just beyond 5 minutes. He'll make these tyres last until halfway, perhaps?
Yep, and he does. He can go into another set of mediums, but you have to remember times 3 tyre wear. If it falls off the cliff so badly, he might just consider going into hards for the second stint.
I can tell you, Stefanko is under pressure. Or Stefanko, sorry, is pressurising Naqib Aslam, looking to get into P2. Stefanko, he'll have a DRS advantage, and will Naqib be able to defend? Because Naqib is just going to have to defend. He doesn't have DRS as he skates around. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking course, this Silverstone. So much history, so many famous corners, and yeah, this is Stefanko making the move, and he'll make it stick.
And as an easy move, he doesn't have to do it as hard as he did compared to race 1 when he went around the outside of Kalen that time. So he didn't need 5 or 6 laps to get past Kalen, he just needed 2.
So Williams 1, Williams 2. Keithley 2.5 seconds of Stefanko. Sem 9, 3 and 4. Daffy Ardienza is there. Let's have a look at the battle between Ben Spanky, who's on the tail of Kalen Chin, and Inigo Anton just behind them, who's under pressure from Mohammed Ibrahim. So this is the battle for P6. We're on board with Banky.
And Banky then having a somewhat forgettable run by his stakes, because, you know, he has been having the rubber to green in the last couple of races, but this time he has to really work for it. And a bit of a role reversal, because Kalen was the one that was chasing him in race 1. Now he's trying to overtake Kalen in race 2.
We're on board with Kalen, looking backwards at Ben Spanky. Black Arch Racing trying to just hold off the championship leader. Banky tries to look around the outside, but it's so difficult on the technical part of the course. Behind them, Inigo Anton, I can tell you, is also closing in. And Mohammed Ibrahim, let's go to the back of this train. There's a P4, there's a couple of bollards are taken out by Ibrahim, virtual bollards, thankfully.
Yeah, mercifully, that also goes through the car, so there's no damage to it. Unlike in some other games where you can actually hit that and really screw up your race.
So Ibrahim is at the back of that train. Kalen Chin under enormous pressure. This is the battle for P5. Ahead of them, you've got Daffy Ardianza, who's carried on his good work. Daff has just gone out of shot ahead of you. Kalen holds on. Inigo Anton. Oh, and Kalen is pushed out. Kalen is pushed out and will drop a few places, and Inigo Anton is the new man in P6, and he's got Banky and Ibrahim behind him.
Oh, Inigo is the one that really caused that big time. He tried to dive around the outside of Ibrahim. Ibrahim was actually on the inside. He backed off. Inigo dived into the inside and whacked to the back of Kalen. So Kalen, in essence, was the biggest loser out of all of that and lost about 4 positions.
Inigo Anton tries to look as innocent as he possibly can there, but there might be something for our stewards to talk about later. There's always something for our stewards to talk about later, but it's given an opportunity for Mumbai Falcons to maybe make a move, and Ben Banky does exactly that. Goes around the outside of Inigo Anton. Banky now up to P6.
Sorry, I said Ibrahim just now. It was actually Banky who actually backed off and let Inigo through. Now he has actually gotten through Inigo, so now then he'll try to set his sights on at least consolidating P6 at the moment, because it's quite a ways away from Dafa Diansa, who has broken away from this pack.
Yeah, Banky leads ahead of Inigo Anton. Mohammed Ibrahim has now overtaken as well, so Mohammed Ibrahim has got himself into P7. That's a good race run. Oh, Ibrahim, we're on board with Anton as he tries to claim that place back from Ibrahim. These two going wheel to wheel, side by side, and look at this, Russell Reyes comes into it, the JMX Phantom racer, and Kalen Chin goes past Inigo, who won 2 places, lost 2 places, and finds himself back in P10.
Oh, this is the sort of racing I was anticipating, Des, because we saw that in the British Grand Prix, how the places were chopping and changing, and that's what this car is giving. But Kalen spun it around. Kalen has spun it out of club, and he has lost again 4 positions out of that.
Kalen Chin, he's always giving us some entertainment, but not the entertainment he would like to be giving us. He's always involved in some kind of incident. We're on board with Russell Reyes, with Mohammed Ibrahim here. We just need very quickly, just to show you how far ahead Jack Keithley is, because he's nearly 3 seconds clear of his teammate, and Williams Esports looking good. So there's Keithley, and behind him Stefanko isn't even in the shot.
But actually, Stefanko might be catching up, because I've been watching the gap a bit. It's fluctuating between 3.5 to 3 seconds. So if Stefanko's got a bit between his teeth and catch out right to the back of his teammate, we might have a bit of, like, I don't want to call it civil war, but inter-team battle, like what happened to Williams back in 1987 between Nelson Piquet and Nigel Mansell.
I was going to say, Williams never have civil war. Never, never, never.
Well, when Frank was around, definitely he could control the drivers. But between Mansell and Piquet, that was a different story. But I think between Keithley and Stefanko, they will try to avoid getting to any argy-bargy. But having said that, Nakib was also there, catching up to him.
Okay, Mohammed Tasbi is on the tail of Kalen Chin. Kalen's tale of woe could well be exacerbated, because Tasbi is right there. Tasbi in P14 will have DRS, but heaven knows what Kalen's situation is. Has he got it? Has he not? Did he lose it? But he's certainly spun round.
At this point in time, no, he has lost use of DRS this time around, and when he crosses the line behind Mihai Neg, it will be actually gone. So he does have DRS, but Tasbi does.
Okay, this is an opportunity for Tasbi just to pick up some points, and there is Tasbi closing in on the back of Kalen Chin. Just have to pick him off at the first opportunity. Mihai Neg is the man in front of him from the TRX team.
Once again, carrying the flag for that particular team, because unfortunately Christopher Hochfeld has not entered the race, but Neg's doing another good job here, despite having a first race to forget, as Tasbe goes onto the inside, coming into Brooklands. No defense there from Kalen, and I think Kalen's just looking forward to the stops now.
Yeah, so then we've got the 2 guys who are on medium compounds are first and second. I think Dan Finney, he's the first man into the pits alongside, is that Axel Nocom that's gone with him as well?
And a drive-through penalty for Axel Nocom. Once again, many drivers have been caught by that drive-through penalty, well, quote-unquote bug for this season, and it has befallen another driver. Axel Nocom, the victim this time.
I'm assuming Axel doesn't know any swear words yet.
Well, he's just staying quiet right now. I wouldn't want to put any words into his mouth for that particular time, but let's hope any one of these race leaders don't get the exact same thing, because that will just screw up what will possibly be a grandstand finish.
Okay, we're on board with Nabil Aslan, who's got his brother Nakib in front of him. This is the battle for P3 at the moment. Ahead of them, you've got Martin Stefanko. So these are about 3 seconds adrift of the race leader, Jack Keithley. I'm looking at the clock at the very top, which has 17 minutes to go. Another couple of laps, perhaps, certainly one, maybe two, before we have tyre changes for Keithley and Stefanko.
Yep, so long as it's at the halfway point, past 15 minutes, that will be the time that Keithley and Stefanko will go in. And both of them, I would say, will go onto the onto the medium tyres again, because look at that, the medium tyres have held out quite well at this point.
They certainly have. Stefanko, though, hasn't been able to really make the most of it. Nakib and Nabil are able to stay within touching distance, as we see Jack Keithley go through a long, long way ahead, 3 seconds plus. In fact, Keithley is, you're quite right, Stefanko is lapping faster than Keithley by half a second on the last lap. Oh, and he nearly goes sideways. A little bit of go-karting there from Martin Stefanko, enjoying the Silverstone circuit.
Indeed, and the car is just looking so planted, isn't it? The Venturi tunnels underneath that produces the ground effect was enough to keep him there. You can almost pin the throttle, not too much, but just a bit to keep the car pointing in the right direction to generate the downforce. And look at that, he's managed to build up a bit of a gap there coming through Stowe.
Sem 9, the two racers behind him. That's really, really tight. Let's go a little bit further down. What race have we got? Tasby is making progress. Tasby is currently in P11.
And he's overtaken Neg.
He's overtaken Mihai Neg. And there is Neg in the lime green. Easy to see for the French-based team. And Neg has overtaken Kalen Chim. Ahead of them, you've got Inigo Anton. How about Russell Reyes, who was the pole sitter? Sorry to the director for chopping and changing, but Russell Reyes, JMX Phantom, a podium in race number 1, P8 here. How will he feel about that?
I think he will be a bit disappointed that he did not make any positions up at the start. I think he might have had another somewhat mediocre start to the race. So again, look, he's quite well a ways behind Ibrahim. So at the moment, at least, he's waiting for the stops as well to see if a new set of tyres might change his fortunes.
All right, let's look at Jack Keithley. Let's see if and when he is going to make his pit stop. Those tyres there, they look to be wearing really, really well.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have that modeling where we can see graining on the tires. If we did, we can actually at least tell when he's going to try to pit, because at the moment, at least, he might just try either the end of this lap or the end of the next lap, because we're well past the halfway point now.
But his lap times are still pretty good. They're within half a second of each other. His best lap is a 2:32.6. His last lap was a 2:33.2 as Jack Keithley goes into the pits. And Martin Stefanko goes, I think, into the pits as well, which means the man out in the lead will become Nakib Aslan.
And how often have we said that in the past, with Nakib up in front and his brother as a rear gunner in second place. So for the time being, at least, it's working out swimmingly for both of them. But when push comes to shove and it comes to the crunch, you might say that Nabil will try to go for broke and try to take a race win away from his brother.
So the next question is, what is the race strategy? Let's go to the guys in the pits. Jack Keithley is in the pit. It's a long pit stop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting to see. He's coming out on medium compounds again. So, will anybody be brave enough, a Nakib or a Nabil or a Daffer or a Ben Spanky, to actually last as long as they can and then come out on softs?
That will be a hard sell, isn't it? I would say that they would probably just go for mediums to be on the safe side, because if they went onto the softs, that will actually be quite hard to keep alive, especially the fact that it could fall off the cliff very quickly.
I know there's money at stake, but surely at some stage you've got to gamble. A Nakib or a Nabil, they've got to take a gamble because they need to get some race wins to haul themselves back up to the top of the standings.
Yeah, but they wouldn't want to roll the dice and get snake eyes. That will be the worst thing they could ever come up with. So if they get caught short where they go in for a strategy that doesn't work out at all, that will actually just blow up right in their faces. So at this point in time, I would just say medium tires may be the way to go for both of them, because right now it's looking quite well here as Nakib, and I would say Nabil also will come into the pits at the same time.
So Nakib has gone into the pits. Where is Nabil? Nabil has followed him. How about Daffy Ardianza? Daffy has stayed out. So Daffy, or Ben Spanky has certainly stayed out, or is Daffy? Yeah, Daffy is going to be the man in the lead.
But crucially then, he will have much fresher tires. 2 laps worth of fresher tires. 3, if he continues on for another lap. We'll keep an eye on when Banky comes into the pits. But where is Jack Keighley in relation to Nakib and Nabil when they come out of the pits? That will be important. If they actually manage to jump him by overcutting, that will be a great strategy call by the Sam 9 team.
Well, here is Jack Keighley now. 8 seconds down he was. Let's just follow. Okay. As he comes around this next corner, this will... Oh, Nakib, a drive-through penalty. Speeding in the pit lane, Nakib. And Keighley comes out ahead of him.
Right behind him.
Behind Nakib, but ahead of Nabil. But Nakib has got a drive-through.
Oh, this is deja vu from Aragon, isn't it? Where we were robbed of a grandstand finish. And look, the strategy, the overcut, played so well into the SM9 boys' hands. It's all up to Nabil now to try to take his first win of the season.
Looking bottom left, Nakib Aslan, I think he knows he's gone a very, very pale colour, has Nakib, because another drive-through penalty. Maybe it's a bug on the game, but the drivers have been warned about it. So we're now on board with Nabil, and he's right on the tail end of Jack Keighley and is splitting the 2 Williams.
And remember, they got a lap fresher tyres compared to Keighley right now, so they can actually just conserve a bit. They don't want to push it too hard early doors. In fact, he's medium tyres as well. So it's like for like change.
Daffy Ardianta goes into the pits. Mohamed Ibrahim goes into the pits. Jinmas Vilton is the man out on the track with the race lead.
And that's the first time we said that this season, as Mas Vilton then comes out of the first corner of Abbey here. This is the real story right now. When is Nakib going to come in? Because if he will try to do a bit of a team tactic, maybe try to hold up Keighley to benefit Nabil behind, that will be a great team play.
So Nabil Aslan closing on the tail end of Nakib. It says 7th, but as you say, this is really effectively the race lead. Nabil in P2. Nabil in the orange and black of Sem 9. Now Jim Masvilton has stayed up there. I'm wondering if a Masvilton or a Tasby or an Inigo Anton, who's in P3 at the moment, if anyone's brave enough to keep on out there. I know you're saying no. I'd love somebody to take that gamble just to see the wheels come off, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, otherwise it would be like Lewis Hamilton 2020, where one of his tires blew and still managed to win the race. But it will not work up that time around because the delta is just that short. In fact, between Anton and Nakib, who's the first of the guys who have pitted, it's only about 12 seconds, so it's not enough.
But none of these guys have pitted. None of the front 4 have pitted, and we're at less than 10 minutes to go. Surely it becomes a possibility.
Well, a possibility that if you bolt on a set, as Soft says, Mas Vilton now comes in. It would not work though, because 10 minutes, the tires would just wear out that quickly. It is a good ploy to get fastest lap, of course, but it's not enough because the delta is just that short between themselves and the guys who have stopped.
All 4 who were on hard compounds have now come in. That means that Nakib Aslam is the race leader out on the circuit, in theory, but he has a drive-through penalty that he must serve, and that will be like a kick in the guts for Nakib Aslam.
Yeah, just when you thought that, yes, things are looking up for Nakib, you know, from his perspective, but now he had the strategy nailed in. It's just that niggling bug that the game has was the one that caught him out. They had the strategy nailed, but now he's going to have to sprint ahead whatever he could to salvage some points here.
I tell you the other story here. Martin Stefenko was in P2. He's now down in P5 because Daffy Ardianta, JMX Phantom, he's got himself ahead of Martin Stefenko by a good second as he looks backwards. There is Stefenko.
And apparently the overcut is quite effective here, Des, because the undercut that the Williams boys tried, they were the first to pit, did not work out. So apparently the overcut is much more powerful despite the high tire degradation. So really then, it has worked out for the Sam 9 boys, as we can see Nabil chasing after Jack Keighley. For Dafa as well, it's worked out a treat to stay ahead of Stefenko.
Much to my chagrin, nobody has taken the soft compound option. Nabil Aslam is chasing Jack Keighley. This is effectively for the lead. Even though it's P3 for Nabil Aslam, effectively this is for the lead. Keighley for Williams Esports, P10 from 21st in race number 1. effective P1 here in race number 2. I say effective race 1 because Naqib Aslan is now taking his drive-through penalty, and this will be torture.
Absolutely, it's going to be a long trundle into the pit lane. In fact, it's at least 25 seconds worth in the pit lane, so he's going to come out somewhere outside of that top 10, but he'll rather not have that at the moment, at this point in time. He's just wishing he could have avoided that.
Mohamed Ibrahim goes past Naqib. Russell Reyes goes past Naqib. Bence Banki goes past Naqib.
Where's Kalen in relation to this? Kalen's through, and Tasbih as well. I think, no, he just manages to stay in that top 10. So he stayed out long enough to increase the delta between himself and the guys outside of that top 10. So he manages to stay in there, but what could have been for him?
For P1 to P9, it's just a case of rescue what you can, Naqib. Now, I'm afraid you're no longer the story. This is the story. Jack Keithley, it's brutal. Brutal.
Yeah, that's kind of like the nature of the sport, isn't it? Sometimes you make your luck, sometimes the luck can be taken away from you. And for Naqib, it was the latter. But all eyes are now on his brother, whether or not he could break that duck and get his first ever win in E1 Championship.
So Jack Keithley, Nabil is 0.4 of a second behind. He is within striking distance. He has got slightly fresher tyres, but the lap times at the moment, the both are lapping their best laps are 1:32.5-ish. Jack has just done a 1:32.6, so he's close to his fastest laps at the moment.
Indeed, and the fact that that wiggling by Keithley was a bit sus, I would say, but you know, that's basically proper defending. If Nabil was any closer and he starts moving like that, then that would be looked at the stewards. But for the time being, he's just trying to break that toe, and for that one, it didn't work out because Nabil's still within that DRS range and he could still take him at any point. But right now, that factor is he's got 1 lap fresher tyres compared to Keithley.
And does he actually just bide his time, make sure he stays close, and maybe with 2 laps to go, then utilises the DRS? That's the opportunity for Nabil Aslan.
Indeed, Nabil will try to use the DRS in that final few laps and take advantage of the fact that he has fresher tyres compared to Keithley to actually strike. So he's biding his time right now. He doesn't want to use it too early, otherwise he has no usable grip left for that attack.
Russell Reyes is the man in P6 at the moment. I can tell you that Mohamed Tasbih is right on the tail of Kalen Chin and Naqib Aslan.
Oh, that's a ding-dong battle here, going through Luffield the long way around. He tried to switch back, but nope, no way through. Kalen now is the cork in the bottle here in a class of 6 cars battling for P8.
Back to the front. Nabil is really trying hard to get on the tail end of Jack Keithley. Goes wide. Is he able to hold it on? Keithley and Nabil, they are wheel to wheel. Nabil has the drive through. That's an astonishing overtake with 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes of serious pressure, and I can tell you there's applause from Amo, there's applause from Alex, because that is a gutsy overtake.
Wowee, I didn't expect him to go the long way around, literally almost onto the outside of onto the AstroTurf there, but he made the mistake. Now it's his turn to defend.
And at defend, he's got to go. 3 laps we reckon to go. The battle for P3.
And Dafa Arianza, out of nowhere, right behind both of them, is actually closing up as well. So it's a grandstand finish of 3 cars potentially going to take a win here. Both drivers in first and third are going to take their first ever if it happens, while Keithley will try to go and win his 3rd ever race in the E1 Championship.
Wow, this is dynamite. This is awesome. This is Silverstone at his best. 1, 2 and 3 is Nabil Aslan, Jack Keithley and Dafa Ardiansa. Dafa right at the very back there. We'll go back to Nabil. There is Nabil's lead. His lead is, well, it's infinitesimal. It's 0.2 of a second. So much can happen here. DRS must come into play at some stage.
Absolutely. In fact, he's going to come to play now onto the hanger straight. But Keithley had a poor exit coming out of Beckett's here, and that will not be enough for him to actually get up to the back of Nabil, while Ardiansa is watching briefly. Look at that. That little mistake coming out of Beckett's is enough for Nabil to hold on for the lead for just this lap.
So Nabil holds on. I can tell you that Dafa Ardiansa is just there. That's the battle. We're seeing Keithley and Nabil Aslan. They're 1 and 2. We're on board with Dafa Ardiansa. Oh, Dafa! Oh! Oh, spins out and spins out of an almost certain podium. It allows Ibrahim into P3. Nabil Aslam, meantime, is able to race away just a little bit from Jack Keithley, but oh, catastrophe for Dafa Ardienza and JMX Phantom.
How he would love to have actually been in that battle, and Nabil as well, how he would love to have Dafa just stall Keithley a bit so that he could actually just try to make a beeline for it, but now it's just between himself and Keithley, and for the second time this season, a JMX car in contention for a win spins out.
Oh my word, that is so tough. I tell you, a major beneficiary is Mohamed Ibrahim, who moves up into P3. Having won P1, this is a good week's racing for Mohamed Ibrahim. Second in qualifying, race 1 win, currently race 3.
Yes, indeed, and the fact that, for example, for Keithley, right, that this is actually just the sort of recovery that he would have wanted. In the likes of Banky struggling this round, this is good points for him, but how he would love to take a victory here after starting on pole. Nabil, though, putting up a staunch defensive race right now, and he only has about at least 2 laps to go here to hold on for the win.
Okay, Keithley is getting close, and Keithley, you suspect, will be making a move pretty soon. Silverstone is a difficult place to defend, but that one's an easy one.
One more lap to go. Yeah, sorry, there's one more lap to go here for Nabil to hold on. And what a sweet, emotional win it will be for the young Malaysian here to take it.
But he is looking very focused. Bottom right of your screen, Nabil Aslan of Malaysia for the SEM 9 team. He is the man who has the lead. Jack Keithley is looking for a victory, though, is looking for Williams to make the most of home advantage in virtual inverted commas. Keithley in P2, Nabil Aslan in P1. Ibrahim is probably too far away to have any kind of influence on this race at the moment.
Yeah, Ibrahim, 2.2 seconds. It's too little, too late for him to make any difference and inroads to the guys in front. But Nabil, though, will not mind one bit about Ibrahim's charge. He wants to hold on to this win, and he has had before. Remember, in round 1, the second race, where Stefanko knocked him out from the race win, he again has a Williams eSport car right behind him. It will be so painful if he loses the win now, but look, he's gonna have one straight left to go, and that's it. That's all he needs to do right now to just defend from Keithley here in this final lap.
He has got to defend. That's what he's got to do. He's taking a few risks there. He's taking a shortcut if he can. His lead is just over half a second. So this is where the fresher tyres might come into play. He stayed out 2 laps longer, and that could be significant for Nabil Aslam.
And it has proven significant. Look, he's managed to hold on that last attack from Keithley. He's on his way now, Des.
Nabil Aslan just has to negotiate the final corner, and Nabil, he's grinning from ear to ear. Woo, he says, woo, he say, and Nabil Aslan takes it from Jack Keithley. Mohamed Ibrahim not far behind in P3 ahead of Stefanko. Great week for Russell Reyes. Ben's Banky championship leader could be under threat. Dafa Ardianza and Nakib finishes in P8, but his brother Nabil Aslam is the man who is the freshest, and he has got the biggest smile of all today, and that's a terrific performance from young Nabil and SEM 9, and it was the pit stop strategy.
It worked out a treat. The overcut of dreams, we can safely say, for Nabil. We're going to have an interview with him very shortly, but before that, we had to mention Tasbi and Nakib had punctures on the very final corner, which allowed Inigo to go through, so that was an amazing finish as well, how Inigo just outfoxed both of them. But for Nabil, take nothing away from him, it is a brilliant victory, and that just makes the championship all the more sweeter to watch, isn't it, Des?
Fabulous stuff. Really good work from Nabil Aslam. We're awaiting the final confirmation. As you say, punctures for, it was Tasbi and Nakib, so they dropped down a couple of places. They did get over the line. They did manage to squelch their way over the line, but no problems for Nabil. Look at him. We'll talk to him in just a few moments, but we're still waiting final confirmation of the result. I can tell you down at the other end, Miko Nasi did finish the race, as did Mohamed Zikri and Shazliza. Ibrahim gets the fastest lap and P3, but the result, Nabil Aslam for SEM 9 ahead of Jack Keithley for Williams Esports. Ibrahim, a great week for him, fastest lap as well. Stefanko and Reyes completing the top 5. Banky, Dafa Ardianza, great performance from him. Inigo Anton getting ahead of Nakib and Tasbi, and that's your top 10. Fabulous racing.
Fabulous, brilliant racing. Thanks there to Des and Amo on commentary duty. That overtake, final few minutes, that's going to define today's race day for me, Alex.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great move around the outside at Stowe. And it wasn't easy, I think, because they were perfectly alongside. Kifli raced him hard, gave him just enough room, and Nabil hanged on for the win. We will talk to the guys who finished first and second in race 2. But I think we need to talk to Mohamed Ibrahim first, because Ibrahim is the overall winner from today. First in race 1, third in race 3. This is great for his championship. Ibrahim, congratulations there. First and third. This is your highest scoring round of the season so far. Talk us through your race 2.
Yeah, it's a good round. You know, I'm really thankful to God, and alhamdulillah, this round went extremely good, you know. And I'm so happy, you know, to do well for Mumbai Falcons, you know, because without Mumbai Falcons, I wouldn't be in this championship, you know. So I'm just really happy to finally give them the result they deserve.
Yeah, because, I mean, heading into this, you were 4th in the championship. This is going to be very, very healthy for you as we head into the final 2 rounds. Your teammate, Ben Spanky, he was top of the championship standings. I haven't seen the updated one, but felt like you were carrying Mumbai Falcons today.
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy with the race pace today, you know, because this sim is so different to what I'm used to, you know, from real life and from and the other platforms I've driven on. It's really difficult to adapt, so it's a new thing. So this is the first time I've actually been comfortable in the race.
I just need to know, because it's getting pretty tight at the top of the championship standings. Are you prepared to go head-to-head with Ben Spanky? I mean, in the next round of you two, P1 and P2, how competitive are you going to be?
No, the most important thing right now is for us to do well. You know, it's okay if he wins the championship or if I win, it doesn't matter. You know, as long as Mumbai Falcon wins the championship overall, that's the most important thing.
Wow, we'd like to hear the team spirit.
Absolutely. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
I just want to thank Mumbai Falcons again. You know, without them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Mumbai Falcons, obviously a real-life race team, and a team that is actually the reigning Formula Regional Asia champions, actually. So it's great to see them doing well in the sim world as well. You know, and Ibrahim, what a talent! Great result from him.
Honestly, do you expect them to be in this position? So high up?
No, we knew Williams would be strong, but Mumbai Falcons actually have exceeded our expectations because it's the first time in sim competition. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so let's talk to the winner right now. Nabil, congratulations, your first win in E1.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know what to say. Yeah, it was really hard staying behind Kifli most of the time because of the dirty air. So that one time when I was like close enough, I was like, I knew I had to do the move, and what way to do it from the outside. So yeah, I'm just so happy right now.
I think this is your biggest win so far.
Yeah, I think so too.
Talk us through the moment. Were you just biding your time? Were you waiting? Were you afraid you wouldn't get the opportunity?
I knew Kifli would struggle with tires as well because he pitted a lap earlier than us, and also he has 10 kilos of ballast. So like, I knew I just had to play my time, and also I was being a bit cautious as well because, you know, me and Kifli had some moments with the netcode and all, but so I just played my time, and you know, after that it played off. So yeah, I'm just extremely happy right now. But yeah.
And in terms of the championship standings, it's going to be very healthy for you, and a bit of friendly rivalry with your own brother, your own flesh and blood, and your teammate, building up a little advantage over him, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think about me and him too much because, you know, I want to work as a team. You could actually see that he was doing way better with the dirty air, so I let him by. And, you know, I think both of us had pace. You know, I think we could have scored another 1-2 as well, but, you know, stuff happens, and, you know.
So, I mean, talk us through. I mean, obviously the speed in the pit lane has been a bit of a factor. I mean, but it's the same for everyone. Everyone has to stay under it, and you guys have actually been quite good. Nakib just a little bit too aggressive on the pit lane?
I think you have to ask him that. I'm scared to make any comments about him. So
maybe we'll talk to him later. But congratulations, your first win in E1 season.
Thank you.
Well done, Nabil.
Thank you so much.
Never seen him smile like that. Actually, to be fair, I've never seen Mohamed Ibrahim, who we spoke to a few minutes ago as well, smile like he did today. And it seems to be very much a team ethic.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could see it. Obviously, Sem 9 had really great pace today. Yeah, I think actually they should have finished first and second. Obviously, Naki got done with speeding the pit lane. But that wasn't to be, you know. And we should actually talk to the guy who finished second.
Yes.
Jack, are you there? Great result, I think. You talk us through your race, P2.
Yeah, not too bad, honestly. Obviously, a bit frustrating at the win, but at the same time, when you're playing the strategy we tried, you're playing a risky game. You're quick at the start, but then you're slow at the end. And I think, I don't know. I have to go back to the drawing board and see what else we can extract out of this car. Because I feel like me and Martin, we're not getting as much out of it as we could, but there's something we don't know about. But yeah, great job to Nabil though. He really good overtake on me, and yeah, getting back at him was just really tough because he had better tyres than me. In high-speed corners, when the tyres are real low on wear, it's just much harder than he was dealing with. So you win some and you lose some, as they say.
I don't know if you saw, we just spoke to him and he talked about the racing strat and the tyres as well. Do you think that's what defined race 2, the reverse grid strategy more than anything else?
I think so. Then again, I don't know what my true pace was compared to those guys if you had us on the same fuel, same tyres, because we never were like that at all throughout the entire event. But you could certainly see as well, I reckon, that the tyres, with mine being a bit worse than his, had an effect. You could see it. So it was just trying to manage as best I could, and I still managed to keep in DRS, but the corner leaned onto the hanger straight. I knew that that was going to be a problem, and in dirty air it's 10 times worse, as he found as well when he was behind me. Still happy with second though. It's still a good result. You know what? That's a weekend with no incidents. No one's going to report me. That's brilliant.
Always good. And Jack, for me as a neutral in this conversation, thank you for giving all the viewers and all the fans such an entertaining race day. All the best for the next round, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hope you all enjoyed the show and wish us full onwards and upwards first for next time.
Absolutely. And you know, Alex, before we go for break, I just have to mention, I remember sitting in this exact chair for round 1. It looked like Williams was going to run away with it. They look so comfortable.
Yeah.
But week in, week out, round 2, 3, 4, 5, they've sort of just dropped off the pace, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a poor round 4, didn't they? And round 5 didn't really go their way. I really thought Stefanko would have a bit more pace. Let's not forget, obviously, he has a success ballast. And Silverstone is tough when you're carrying a little bit of extra weight. But like Jack was saying just now, I think some of the other teams are starting to find a little bit. You know, I thought 7-9's pace, race pace today was superb. And they, you know, teams up their game. You need to up the game with them as well, you know, and Williams will need to do that if they want to win the championship this year.
And it's nicely poised for the final 2 rounds. Hey, tell you what, where's the next race going to be? We actually don't know. Quick break. When we return, we'll do the ballot. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022. And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight. Support on our Facebook pages. Let's go on board with Axel. Sorry, fella, went on board exactly the wrong time.
And he took out Nabil as well for good measure. So that is actually a rather weird way to have a crash. Oh, look at that. Going to the inside goes Reyes. Reyes shoves off White. Anton is also going through. I think it's Anton who has actually gotten through there into the gravel trap. And Reyes and Chin go through as well. So Reyes then really hard on the inside, but he manages to get through. Kalen, on the other hand, on a good recovery drive up to 4th place.
Aki Vaslan is the man who has the lead, but he's got Ben Spanky as very, very close company. And although he got off to a dream start, he's not been able to pull away too far ahead.
Very tactical indeed, but it looks as though Nakib playing one tap should actually take his elbows out here. Banky on the inside, they're going side by side through the corkscrew, and Nakib somehow manages to hang around the outside to hold on to the lead just for the time being. Kalen has been there as well. Actually, Kalen now has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, that was disastrous for him. He was also in the pit lane at the same time with Banky, and that, look at that, the gap's only a second. He had it there. He could have actually taken the lead in the race if he even didn't have that drive-through penalty. Confirmation there from the stewards in the gate. The drive-through is going to be so painful for Kalen. He's going to tumble through the order after this, Des.
Bottom left of your screen is Kalen Chin. He knows the news. He knows the... How can you make such a mistake? Benz is not impressed with Kalen Chin just there.
Oh, in fact, it's even worse for Kalen. He's done an Austin Powers. He's actually stuck it right there in the pit lane. No, that is so disastrous for the young Aussie Singaporean. You can feel that frustration, and there you go. The picture says 1,000 words at this time, Des.
Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. That was not much fun for Kalen Chin.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship 2022.
And we are off to a start. Jack Keatley gets the victory, punches the air in delight.
Welcome back once again, E1 Championship 2022. I'm Adam Carruthers alongside the race director Alex Young. It's organised by Axel Sports, EGG and Astro, supported by MAM, that's the Motorsports Association of Malaysia, and RaceRoom. And by the way, we're live on Arena plus Suka, and we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. It's really easy. E1 Championship, that's how you find us, and you can quite easily share it amongst your friends as well. We're broadcasting in Singapore via Mio Sports 2, in Vietnam on VTV Cab, Thailand on True Gaming Up, and in Indonesia via TVRI Sports. We want to thank all of you for joining us across the entire region. Now, if you missed out on race 2, the reverse grid, wow, one of the best ones we've seen the entire season. Here are the highlights with Des and Ammo.
Indeed, this was a good one. We're on board with Ben's Banky at the start because he's still the championship leader. But Jack Keatley was on pole, but Jack Keatley found himself overtaken by Nabil Aslan. That's the first corner. And then a couple of corners later, Jack Keatley decides, no, I want the lead. And this would set the scene for the race, Amo Hazi.
Absolutely. With pit stops coming in, we thought that, well, this is going to be going all the way. And indeed, it did. As we see Nakib Aslan making progress early doors. He would, however, fall victim to, unfortunately, drive-through penalty, which set him quite back. And here was the kind of turning point in the race, isn't it? Nabil hung back a bit.
Yeah, Nabil hung back just a little bit. Martin Stefanko made his way forward, but Nabil was at the tail of this three-man battle for P2. But we were looking very, very carefully at what was going to happen when it came to the pits. When it came to the pits, Nakib, as you said, he had that drive-through penalty. Nabil was behind Keatley and then performed that sensational overtaking maneuver. And from then on, he dominated the race. Keatley just couldn't come back.
Absolutely, and he defended quite well here, despite not having DRS and use of battery. He just held on, and it was a three-way battle before this spin by Daf Adiansa by taking too much of the curb and too only of the throttle, send it back to 7th in the end.
Daffa loses out a podium place for him. Nabil Aslan, though, is able to hold on to take his first victory of the season. And my, did he enjoy that. Good result for Jack Keatley in P2. Mohammed Ibrahim, even better in P3. So this is how the final result was. Nabil Aslan picking up 25 points. Keatley picking up 20 to rescue a disappointing week. Mohammed Ibrahim, fastest lap as well as P3, but he did really well this week. Stefanko and Reyes also in there. Nakib Aslan, one-time potential race winner, down in P9.
Yeah, that could have actually been one of the best results of the season for Sem9, but unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbled.
So what that means for the overall results for this round, for round 5, it's a really good round for Mohammed Ibrahim. 47 points for the Mumbai Falcon. Russell Reyes, a really good week for JMX Phantom. 34 for him. Nabil with 33. Keatley rescuing 26 points. What it does, though, it means Mumbai Falcons are really, really in pole position in the championship.
Yep, absolutely. And for Nabil, that's a great win for him.
Thanks, Des and Amo. We'll get to the championship standings for team and individuals in just a moment. And if you've been following E1 Championship, you'll know that the vast majority of races so far have been in Europe.
Yeah.
In fact, we've been in England back-to-back. So we have the Ballot Bowl here, Alex Young. I think you should be doing the honors here.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so there are obviously some American tracks. I think we've used up the Asian track, haven't we? And South American tracks as well.
South American,
One
okay.
there as well. So let's see which one we get now. Oh, let's have a look. Ooh, yes, South American track, Interlagos.
Interlagos.
Yeah.
Interlagos now. Tell me what we can expect from this.
Well, it's a short track. It's new on RaceRoom, so actually we're really keen to go here because we always like going to new tracks on RaceRoom. And this will be interesting to see. Counterclockwise, long front straight, so should have plenty of overtaking as well, especially because there's slow corners onto that back straight, so the dirty air won't be so bad. So we could see some DRS strains, we could see lots of overtaking here.
That's going to be a lot of fun. At the corner of my eye, I actually saw Amo cheering away, so I'm sure he's all geared up for that, but it's a long way in the future. Let's have a recap of the standings, the championship standings, with Des and Amo once again.
Let's start with the individual championship standings first, and Ben Spanky retains his lead. It wasn't that bad a weekend, 21 points. Remember, there's one round to be dropped. This will possibly be Spanky's round to drop, but he leads by 35 points from his teammate Mohamed Ibrahim. Stefenko and Keithley 3 and 4, but have a look at Russell Reyes. He has raced up to P7. He's overtaken Kalen and Naki Baslan, and he's in 3 figures as well. So P1 is still very, very much up for grabs in the individual championship.
And look at Nabil in P6 there, as we now head into the team standings. Mumbai Falcons then increasing their lead bit by bit ahead of Williams Esports. That was not something that was in the script, wasn't it, at the start of the year? But it has happened. Mumbai Falcons are streaking away. Williams Esports second. Third, Sam 9, with Nabil carrying the bulk of the team's points this one. This is looking good for them to actually consolidate that after this round.
Thanks, guys. Really briefly, heading into this round, Mohamed Ibrahim was in 4th for the individual standings. He's now climbed up. Huge weekend for him, and one he badly needed. I said that a few times today, and I really mean it. Now that it's all done, we can see the impact it's had.
Absolutely, because he's been threatening to do this result all season. He's been quick all season, just sometimes a bit too aggressive sometimes a bit unlucky, you know, hadn't won a race. And now 1st and 3rd, and boom, he's gone back up into the standings. Mumbai Falcons won 2, and they've won 3 of the last 4 races, so they're hitting form just at the right time of the season. Yeah,
no changes though in terms of the team championship for the top 4, except JMX now gone above Black Arts Racing into 5th. Could all change next week. We really hope that you can join us. Before we sign off though, officially, big thanks to Des and Amo, the commentary duo, keeping us thoroughly entertained and informed during the course of the race. Huge thanks to Alex Young, the race director, and most importantly, thanks to the drivers and of course you, the viewers, the fans, for joining us for E1 Championship 2022. We'll be back in exactly 1 week, and now we know where, Interlagos. Hope you can join us. Till then, till next time. Bye for now.
We'll be right back.